We begin this evening with new developments in the Israel-Hamas war. Earlier today, 2 more hostages were released by Hamas. My colleague Richard Engel has more on that story.
First, it was 2 Americans. Now 2 Israeli hostages are free, taken out of Gaza and loaded into ambulances tonight on the Egyptian side of the border. Hamas freed Nurit Cooper and Yocheved Lifshitz. Their release, like with the American mother and daughter last Friday, was facilitated by the Red Cross. Before Hamas began to release hostages, we spoke to a senior Hamas official who said the group was willing to free civilians.
Well, if you stop the aggression, it can be implemented over the next hour.
Tonight, we interviewed him again. He told us Hamas wants to talk and is open to negotiations. So where do we go now?
Stop the aggression, open the borders. We are ready to release all. We don't need to have anyone in our houses. I'm talking about stopping the aggression, opening the borders, discussing our rights to get rid of this siege and occupation, and everything is on the table to be discussed.
At the White House, President Biden was asked about a potential ceasefire and said Hamas has it backwards. Hostages out first. Today, Israel raised its estimate, saying there are 222 hostages in Gaza. U.S. officials say 10 Americans are still unaccounted for. Israel has thousands of troops positioned all around Gaza, ready for an invasion that could come at any time. But now, multiple U.S. officials say the Biden administration is encouraging Israel to delay it, to give more time for hostage negotiations. For diplomacy,
it's our view that the Israeli Defense Forces, Steve, need to decide for themselves how they're going to conduct operations. We're not in the business of dictating terms to them.
As Hamas continues to launch rockets toward Israel, the Israeli military says it attacked militants from Hezbollah as they tried to fire an anti-tank missile into Israel from Lebanon. And Israel is not stopping its air campaign into Gaza, striking 320 targets in the last 24 hours. In retaliation for Hamas's terror attack that killed 1,400 Israelis, including hundreds of civilians. This newly released video from the October 7th attack shows the group killing 2 Israelis as they drove along the highway. Inside Gaza, medical officials say more than 5,000 Palestinians have now been killed, with people digging through the rubble to try to pull out survivors after airstrikes.
Meanwhile, a 3rd truck convoy with humanitarian aid has made it into Gaza, and Palestinian Americans are still trying to flee south.
I understand the fear, the anxiety that they're having right now. I can't say that I blame them, as many of them are sitting down there at the Rafah crossing waiting for that gate to open up. I understand that what they're going through. We understand what they're going through, and that's why we're working it really, really hard. I can assure them, and I can assure all your viewers, that this is a top priority for the administration.
Let's get right to my colleague, NBC's Ellison Barber. She is at the Israel-Gaza border now, where it is just after 6 a.m. in the morning. Ellison, tell us what's been happening overnight and what you're looking ahead to today.
Hey, Stephanie, I don't know if you can hear, but we're starting to hear the boom of artillery in the distance of Gaza. A few hours ago, a little after 1 a.m., those 2 hostages who have just been freed by Hamas militants, with Egypt acting as a mediator, they arrived at a hospital in Tel Aviv. They landed there in a military helicopter, and according to Israel's defense forces, their families were at that hospital waiting to greet them. But also, according to the Israeli military, their husbands, they are still inside of Gaza. When they were both abducted from the Nir Oz kibbutz, so were their husbands. They are both in their mid-80s and are among the 200-plus people still being held by Hamas inside of Gaza. As we've been on the border tonight at different points, we have heard that boom of artillery, tank fire headed in the direction of Gaza. Israel has dramatically increased their airstrikes in the Strip, but they so far have not launched that anticipated ground offensive. But those airstrikes, it has done massive damage inside of Gaza. I spoke to someone earlier today who lives in southern Gaza, in the area where Israeli officials have told civilians to evacuate to. And I asked him what his morning was like. He said, when he goes to bed, he always hears the boom of airstrikes. And when he wakes up, one of the first things he does is pull back the curtains to see if the glass on his windows have exploded. He described life in Gaza right now as hellish. And he said, nowhere feels safe. We have seen from Israeli airstrikes entire blocks just reduced to rubble, entire families that have been killed in these airstrikes. At the same time, in Israel, we spent a long time yesterday at one of the kibbutzes where Hamas militants stormed in on October 7th. And Stephanie, the destruction, the damage that we saw, it was beyond words. So many of the images, it pales in comparison when you actually see it up close. It looks like a tornado or some sort of massive weather disaster had ripped through that area. One of the people who lived there, he talked about how when Hamas militants came into that kibbutz, they went around knocking on doors, and people, families who were hiding in bomb shelters, when they would not come out, they started lighting the buildings on fire, trying to smoke them out or burn them alive. 1 in 10 people in this kibbutz alone lost their lives, among them children. And NBC News, we spoke to one of the lead forensic investigators in Israel, and he said they are still struggling to identify all of the victims of that terror attack because so many of the bodies were so badly tortured and mutilated that they're having to rely on DNA to get an identification. And this is still 2 weeks out after this happened.